right, well, hey, welcome to SEVACon, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Doug with SECC. I want to thank everyone that's wearing your SEVA shirt today. So a little bit of background about the contest. So last year we had about 600 entries submitted to the contest, which represented about 1,800 students that participated. So, as you know, this contest is free. It's open to all students in Sacramento County. And this is the 32nd SEVA contest. And we can't wait to see what each of you create this year. So to start things off, Nick's prepped a quick montage of entries and some interviews from last year's contest. So I'm just going to pull that up real quick and share that with you. So just a second, let me pull up the right share screen here and we'll get going with that.
You have to have the skill of making a video just because that sort of lays your message out there and you can be able to publicly express problems, solutions that your community may be facing.
Video to me is the freedom of creativity. Anything is possible. The world is literally at your fingertips. You can express yourself in any way as you please.
I think that was the biggest thing that I learned is figuring out ways to express myself and express other people in their emotions and in this art form.
Welcome to your Kindle News.
Suits the people. Huh, maybe I can do something about that.
My video that it takes a whole team to just do one video.
That's what made it turn out better, is the motivation and the teamwork.
Knock knock, who's there?
Oh hi, I'm Alexander Hamilton.
Our second question is, are you a gamer?
Hey, I'd like to join you guys, but I don't know what to wear.
Don't worry, we got you.
You don't have to have expensive equipment. Honestly, I think all you need really is an idea.
And so I've learned a lot from using my creativity to express something that could help someone or that can make a difference.
Welcome to the SEVAs.
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 All right, so that was a little bit of a quick clips from last year. So thank you, Nick, for pulling that together for me. That's great. Nick, do we have any questions right now right off the bat? I haven't been able to, I've been neglecting the chat. So
Cassidy from Del Paso Manor has a question here. Cassidy, let me add you to the spotlight here. You want to go ahead and ask your question?
hey.
Yeah, so I was wondering, were we going to get a time where we got to actually talk to you guys about what we're going to do?
We could schedule something with your class. We could do a Zoom or something like that, of course. Yeah. So yeah, that's definitely an option. And so we can work with your teacher. So if that's something you want to do, let's talk to your teacher about it and they can reach out to us. Okay. That's great.
Okay.
Cool.
We have another question here from Joseph from Arlene Hine. Joseph, let me pull you in here and then let's go ahead and see if you can ask your question. Go for it.
Hey, Joseph.
Can you use Legos to make like a video?
Sure. Yeah, you can use Legos. You can animate those. That's what a lot of kids do. It's really it's a good tool to use for animation. Sure.
Joseph, did you have any more questions? I saw you put in a couple.
Yeah, the second one was, can you team up with people during COVID-19?
You could definitely make a video together, but maybe not in person. So that, you want to make sure you're following all the precautions that's outlined by the school and the health department and all that. But you can definitely have multiple team members on your production. So, okay. All right, you guys. So this page here on our website is the SEVA contest page. It's just an overview. Hopefully, is my screen pretty clear still, or is it
super blurry right now, Doug?
Super blurry. Okay, so we'll see if it locks up here in a second.
The link's in the chat, so you could always click there.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
It looks clear to me.
Yeah, it looks good to me, John.
All right. So the section we're going to talk about here is about partway down the page. And there's a lot to this page. So I'm not going to go through every little detail, but I just want to raise certain things to your attention. So this first tab is just how to enter. This is the progression. It's a checklist for you. And we're going to go through each of these pieces here. So we're not going to spend much time right here. But the core thing is you got to make a video. You need to get all your releases for your talent and yourself. You need to caption your video. You need to complete the entry form, which we'll show you where that is. And then your teacher's going to get a confirmation email that they'll need to respond to. And then you need to upload your releases and your captioning file. So that's the really quick overview. And that's what this page is talking about. This next one here is just the grade levels. This is our breakdown of how the contest is broken down by grade. So that's pretty self-explanatory. Categories. So we had quite a few questions in the registration form. People were asking, well, what kinds of videos can I make? And what are the categories? So here's your list of categories. There's 5 of them. The descriptions are here for you. And then the other cool thing is that Abby's got links to examples of different videos in these categories. So you'll get to see, and these go back for several years. So you can see, I know today I was in there poking around. I saw stuff from 2017, 18, 19, and 20. So you can see videos that were finalists and received SEVA awards as well. Okay, so that's the important thing there. The other thing to take note of on this page in particular is public service announcements. That's the only one that we have that actually has a time limitation. All the rest of the categories, your video can be whatever length you feel is appropriate. But PSAs, though, we do put a 30-second requirement on that. And it's plus or minus 1 second. So it could be 29, it could be 31. But and in this timing, it's not counting, say, any credits you may have afterwards. It's from the beginning of the show to the end of your message needs to be as close to 30 seconds as possible, if not exact. Okay, so that's the one that's a little bit unique. The other one is school news. That one also has a little bit of a variance, whereas a lot of you have newscasts that you may be doing at your school site. And then you also have students that are just building news stories that are shorter. So these are judged with different rubrics, but in the end, they are combined into one school news category set of awards. So, so that's the categories. Okay, so there's 5 of them there to pick from, and
Doug, I got some more questions for you.
Sure.
Awesome. Let me see here. Nasali, I think we have a question coming from Nasali. We add her to the spotlight here. Oh, did that work? Maybe? Yes.
Hey, Nasali,
no, I think I...
Oh, yes.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. I was just, when I was creating my video, I really just wanted to understand what the judges are looking for. And so when I'm making the video, what for them really separates a good video from a great video?
Your question couldn't be timed more perfectly. So we have rubrics. Let me show you where the rubrics are. So right here, this next one is the actual rubrics. So you can actually click on these and you can see, what the judges are actually looking at. So, and And I can pull one up here real quick for you. Let me see here. So each category's got its own rubric. And you guys can, they're all out there on the website, so you can all take a look at these later on. But the judges here are looking at your entry. Actually, it starts with your entry form, like the completeness of it in spelling on your entry form, as well as whether or not there's a captioning file, the copyright clearances, are they in place, category fit, the video structure, the shot quality, and the variety. Do you have a variety of shots, or is it just one shot? Lighting, editing, graphics, spelling of those graphics, your creativity and originality, and then most importantly, your educational message, okay, and the educational content of your video. So, and so you can see, where all the numbers are associated with each of these things. Okay.
Hey, Doug, can I interject just really quickly? This is
Sure.
Tom from Arlington. I was just wondering if the teachers have this actual document to share with their students.
Yeah.
If we're able to access this somewhere.
Yeah, it's right on this page that we're sharing. So Abby's got the link there in the chat, and you can get right to it, and you can make a save as and send it out however you want. But yeah, it's wide open. So.
All right, thank you.
No problem.
And I think we have another question coming in from Joseph. You got another question?
Yeah. My question was that can you like team up with someone that is not in SEVA and make a video with them?
Yeah, you can work with other people as well. And the important, we're about to talk about that actually, is it could be a family member that could work with you. That's great. The important thing though is to keep in mind is that it's a contest for students. So we want to make sure that there's minimal adult, the parents and older family members aren't doing all the work for you. So that's the important thing, is that it's still a student project that you're making, but you can definitely collaborate with other students and work together. By all means, yeah, that'd be great. So, okay. And all right, so that's rubrics, and it's obviously a contest for kids. So, all right, captioning. So that's another big piece of this as well. Every entry needs to be captioned. Let me share my screen again here so you can see that page properly. All right. So we were just here on rubrics, now on captioning. So in captioning, we introduced last year. Is that right, Nick? Abby?
Mandatory last year.
Mandatory last year. All right. So, captioning may seem scary or confusing and hard, but later on in our breakout sessions, Nick's prepared a quick little presentation to walk you through it. And we also have right here on this page, you can see there's a video that Nick's updated this year, because one of the things, YouTube's one of the best ways to caption. It's free. Yeah, but they do change the way that they do it. It seems like every year, Nick's having to redo the video. So we have a fresh video that's maybe 3 weeks old that will walk you through the steps. And there's also a handout, a PDF there you can download to walk you through it as well. So, and so this file, once you do your captioning of your video, you can see right up here, there's an SRT or an SBE file. I think this year it's an SRT file that you download and provide to us in our uploading time. So, okay. So, all right, copyright info. Here we go. So, with any video, you need to have permission for everything that's in your video. So the actual video content, the photos, the graphics, the music, all needs to be cleared for you to use in your piece. So hopefully you're creating all of it yourself. Therefore, you own the copyright. But otherwise, you're going to need written permission from the copyright owner if you're using someone else's stuff. So for a lot of things, this is can be a really simple task. It's just an email to the person who owns it, and you're getting permission from them. And then you actually either print a PDF or actually print the actual email and provide it to us that shows that you've connected with this person, that they've given you permission to put it in the contest, but that you can use it online as well as on cable TV. So we found over the years that as long as you ask people, most of them will give you permission. So, don't shy away from not using something, like try to reach out and make a connection out there and see if you can use the content. So we've been surprised. Some people have even gotten permission from Disney for certain things. It does take several months, but it can be done. So we just really encourage you to reach out there and get permission. So it's one of the things that we check, and our judges are always looking for is, hey, was there permission given for that particular element? So it's something that we check thoroughly, and it's just a really important thing for everyone. And you as creators and artists, you want to protect your stuff that you're making. So it's kind of full circle here. We're not going to take someone else's work and share it as your own. So need to get permission, and then we also need to see that permission that you've been given. So, okay. Music is usually the most common issue for entries if there's a problem. So all of the music on WeVideo and audio blocks is cleared for use in the contest. Okay. So you can also create your own song for your video. I know that like Markoff Elementary, they have a friend of the studio that made a theme song for their news program. And so that's perfect. That person is providing it to them to use. So the things where we need to really watch out for is the YouTube, music from YouTube. A lot of different channels on YouTube will say like YouTube copyright free music, or you can YouTube music library. So unfortunately, that music is only allowed to be used on YouTube. We can't use it in the contest, because our goal for every video is to be able to share it on the educational cable channels. And there's a whole different series of releases that are needed for use on TV. And a lot of the music that's on YouTube and through these different services require a very specific license that costs quite a bit of money in order to use it on TV. So, and those licenses can be anywhere from $50 a year to $1,000 per year for one song to use. So, so we got to watch out for that. Okay. Other music resources that aren't allowed, you'll see there's a quick list on here too. And it's Bend Sound and NCS, no copyright sound. That's a big one on YouTube. Free Play Music, Epidemic Sound, Audio Jungle, and Purple Planet. They all show, they all appear to be free music you can use wherever you want. But if you really get down to the details, you need a special license to use. So let me show you real quick what I'm talking about. So one of them is Bend Sound. We see this one come up quite often. Okay, so we go over here to the licensing page. Is that page locked up for everyone? See it okay?
Yep.
Okay. So here on Bend Sound, it says royalty-free music. It appears like, oh, I can do whatever I want. But if you click on the licensing tab here, you can see real quick that he has certain limitations. So under his free license, you can use it in your project as long as you credit him. Okay. But as you start to go down here and look a little deeper into his licensing arrangement, there's some pretty severe limitations on what you can do. So in order for it, like if you wanted to use a song from Bend Sound, you'd have to purchase this is 65 euros for one of his tracks, because it says here that you can use it for TV and radio. Okay. This is the critical piece right here. All right. And down here, he's got an even better grid that compares his stuff. So free, and under the free license, you can use it on YouTube and things like that. But as you start to go down the list here, we're looking for this right here. Okay. And you start to look, you can't use this free one. You can't use the standard license. You got to pay for an extended license. Okay. So that's, and this is part of the sleuthing that you need to do when you're trying to source your music. Okay. And to be aware of. And I know it can be really frustrating, but it's just the way this all works in order to make sure that you can share your work to as many people as possible can see it. Okay. So.
Hey, Doug, we
Yeah,
got a
yeah.
question coming from, I think it's Haley from Pleasant Grove.
Okay.
Let me grab Haley real quick. Haley, got a question?
Hey, Haley.
Yeah, actually, well, my question was answered in the chat, but I'll just say it for everybody else. My question was, how, say you did use like incompetech.com and it says all you have to do is credit them. How would you do so? Like, what do you do to go about doing that?
So yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, so Incompetech is one that he has a section of music that you can use for with attribution. It's under a Creative Commons licensed one. So he's usually asking for a credit in the video somewhere. So it's usually just at the credits at the end of your video, you'll say music and Incompetech and what other requirements he may have listed on his contract. So yeah, so that he's one that yeah is pretty good. And I think that's the other thing, you know, just to mention is that there's other items you can find out there that you know, we know that video and audio blocks are really good resources, and those are cleared for use on YouTube as well as on the educational channels. But you can also, you know, search in like a Google advanced search looking for Creative Commons licensed items, and the whole Creative Commons license mechanism has changed over the years, but there are some that are attribution based, like in Incompetech one. So that's a good one. But the big thing is just to really dig down, and you need to be able to share with us a link to where you found it, and as well as like, you know, printed proof that shows this is the license for it. Okay, so and all this type of backup and that proof, if your music didn't come from video or audio blocks, we need to make sure we have that in place by the entry deadline on February 12th. So just to make sure that your piece can stay in the contest. Okay. And then the other thing is, you know, all of us on our team at SECC, we're there to help you. We want your video to succeed. So you can always ask us. If you're uncertain if your music is okay to use, you can send us a link. We can take a look. We just ask you that you ask early. If you ask the day the entries are due, more than likely we may not be able to get to your question before the deadline, just because there's a lot of things happening that day. But so plan early, figure out what you want to do. If you have any questions, just shoot them over to us, and you know, Nick or Abby or myself or Jessica or Amity, we can all take a look, and one of us can respond to you. Okay. So any other questions, Nick?
We got one from Luke from Markoffer. Luke, do you want to ask a question real quick?
Hey, Luke.
If you do a video on like a game, like board game, do you have to get permission?
You know, for a board game, probably not. You should be okay. But and most video games allow you to capture their content because they like to see their stuff out there in the world. But it also is kind of a case-by-case thing. It's a matter of looking at the licensing for those different products. But a board game, or same thing goes for if you're showing how to cook something, you don't need to cover up the logos or anything. You can, you know, it just happened, you know, this is what you're using, and that's fine. Okay.
And we have Rex, I see you have your hand up. Rex, do you have a question?
Well, hey, Nick, one last thing on that last question from Luke.
One sec, Rex. One sec.
Is the one thing you do want to watch out for is that it's not turning into an advertisement for something. That's one other thing, you know, that your piece is still there to educate people and to explain, you know, how something works or something like that. Okay, I'm sorry, Nick. Go ahead for the next one.
All good. Rex, you have a question?
Hey, Rex.
Yeah. You know, Like if you're like doing backgrounds and you have a green screen, do you have to ask for permission about that?
About the screen that you, or the image you put up on the green screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, that one you need to make sure that you have permission for it. Yeah.
Yeah, our mom. Yeah, our mom lets us do it. Is that okay?
Yeah, it just depends on what that image is of. So if it's a picture
Yeah.
you took, that's perfect. That should be fine. If you're just going out on Google and grabbing any old picture, you need to make sure it's either a Creative Commons license picture or that you have permission from the copyright holder.
Yep.
Okay.
We do like a picture that's like that fits in with our jokes.
Oh yeah, and that's important. Yeah, you just want to make sure that it's a cleared image. That's the important thing.
Awesome. And I think we have,
images have been coming from WeVideo. Those are all okay, Rex.
Oh, that's a good point, Tammy. Thank you for mentioning that. Yeah, so WeVideo has a lot of stock images and stock photos and stock video. So yeah, you can use those in your videos. So we really highly encourage you to make your own imagery as a first choice. But this year's obviously very unique. So using some of the stock stuff is fine too.
Cassidy, did you have a question?
Yeah. So I was wondering, are you allowed to enter multiple things into the SEVAs?
Great question, Cassie. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can enter as many videos as you want. We just ask that if you pick you have one video, to enter it into just one category. You don't enter it into all 5 for some reason. So that's all. Okay. So, but yeah, you can have. We have some students they'll have 4 or 5 videos that they worked on with other students, and
Really, that's a lot.
yeah. So it just depends on the teams and. But yeah, and the other thing we want to encourage you though is we want you to put forward your best work. So just kind of keep that in mind. But and then one of the other cool things that a lot of schools will do is they'll do like a review day, like a critique day, where before the entry deadline, they'll watch each other's videos and give each other critiques and ways to plus up their video and so that's another thing to do is to review your work and have peer review before you enter as well. So, yeah. All right.
I see a lot of questions coming
yeah.
in.
Can you talk about logos a little bit, and if like logos on clothing, logos on items in a grocery store, different stuff like that? How does that work with copyright?
So, like a grocery store, you need permission to be able to shoot inside there. But logos in general are usually fine because there's no expectation of privacy with these things. So if they happen to be in your shot, that's okay. So the issue, like I mentioned earlier, is just that if it turns into an advertisement for something, you want to keep these non-commercial in that sense. So Jessica, does that answer what you're hoping, what we're looking for? Or?
Yeah, Maria from Oak Hill had actually asked about logos on clothing. So that's where I just couldn't spotlight her fast enough. So I thought I'd
got it. Okay. Yeah. It logos on clothing. The other thing to keep in mind though is just in your composition of a shot is that logo distracting to your messaging. So especially like big text or something like that. But I know for sure, like if you have one of these shirts on, it won't be distracting to anyone. That's a solid choice for clothing on all your videos. So, all right. Next, Nick.
We have. I've seen a lot of questions come in about like entering multiple categories. So I think the biggest thing to remember, guys, is that you can enter multiple categories. The thing is that if you enter the same category with different videos, you're competing against yourself because you have 2 videos in the same category. So
that's a good point.
I would encourage to make a PSA and a documentary, or a documentary and a creative expression. Kind of branch your skills out.
That's great.
Let me see. I think Madison, do you have a question from Markoffer? Let me
yes, I do.
Spotlight you real quick. Here you go.
My question is, do you have to get permission like for certain apps like Zoom, Google Meet, Google Classroom, stuff like that?
As far as I know, you don't. The important thing is the content. Like, who are you capturing on your video? You need to have permission from them. That's the key piece there, I think. So, and you just have to have a release form on each of them. That's the important thing. Okay. So, and I think that I know in our registration form, I know that Mr. Coleman over at Natomas Middle School had asked about using imagery from TikTok and things like that. So again, it comes down to having permission from the copyright holder who created that piece of work and making sure that they're okay with you including it. So, okay.
We have a couple questions from Dylan. Dylan, do you want to ask your questions here?
Yeah, my questions were like, if we filmed out something at a grocery store, would we have to have permission, or like,
I'm sorry, can you say it one more time?
if we didn't like have permission from grocery stores, would we like have to go get permission now, or would like?
Yeah, you'd want to have permission, yeah, prior to going in to a grocery store. Some will allow you, some won't, but it just depends.
I think part of our question too was if they already filmed at the grocery store. Was that your question? If you already, like, say you already done deal, right?
Kinda. It's more of like, do we have to like give credit to them? Like, I had permission to film there. It's just more of like, do we have to give like credit that we filmed at the grocery store?
You wouldn't necessarily have to credit, but it'd be a nice thing to say thank you to them in your credits, especially having permission prior to going in. So, because that's you'd want to have a, when you're making videos, you try to build partnerships and having people support you in your venture. Going to the grocery store and asking them and explaining what you'd like to do is probably the best practice. And then they're on your side. They're there to help facilitate and make it happen for you. And then, of course, thanking them in the end would be the best way too. So,
Hey, Doug.
Yeah.
I believe Jessica's got a poll for us. She's got it going on her machine, so she's going to give it a try.
Sweet. Look at that. There's a poll. All right. So here we go. We're going to a little check for understanding here. What's the reason a video may not be allowed into the contest? All right, here they come. Here comes the answers. Check that out. Oh, Nick, we need the music, man.
I know, we do need the music. I could roll the music.
We're halfway through. Here we go.
Okay.
That's great. 80. Awesome.
Nice.
All right. Perfect. So as you guys can see, that last one, all of the above, those are all the reasons why a video may not be allowed in the contest. So make sure your stuff's copyright cleared. You want to make sure things are family friendly and appropriate for viewing at school. Have all the releases in place, and that you submitted everything, including your video, as well as all the supporting documentation before the deadline, which is February 12th at 7 p.m. So, okay.
If we can take one question real quick.
Yeah.
Esmeralda from Markover has a really good question I think we should touch on.
Okay.
Oh.
Are you allowed to play a song that was sung by someone on an instrument?
So like a popular song of some kind?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So here's another unique thing with copyright is that there's two layers of copyright for music in particular. One is the written song, like those words and the notes that create the song, and then there's another copyright for the performance. And so for music, you need to have both pieces of the puzzle there. So in your scenario that you just mentioned, that you'd have the performance rights if you sang the song, but you would need the written music copyright clearance as well. So it's a matter of getting the release on that, and that can be easier, it can be time consuming, but you need both pieces in order to do that particular thing. So does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Some music is beyond copyright. So things that are, I'm not sure what the actual year is anymore, but because that has changed over time, but a lot of things I think is over 100 years you're in the clear. So, okay, Nick, any other questions?
There are a few. I think we can touch on a couple more. Let's see. Jude, let's ask your question if you can jump on here. Do you want to start your video? If not, could you just go ahead and jump in here and ask your question?
So if you have purchased music like CDs and have burned them onto your computer, could you use those files since you technically own them?
Like music you bought through like iTunes or something like that?
Sort of, yeah.
No, you'd need to have there's certain music that's out there that's specifically used, that you can incorporate into your work, and that could then be broadcasted as well. So I would say like the majority of everything you'd find like on iTunes, that license when you buy a song on iTunes is just for your own personal enjoyment and playback within, on your devices. It doesn't allow you to rebroadcast. So.
All right, thank you.
So, but yeah. Okay.
And we're getting a lot of questions about how to contact us, Doug. They could just go to our website, correct?
Yeah, they can go to the website. The emails for setting up SEVACon all come from me. So you can just write, Doug at secctv.org. You can send a note right there, and we can answer your questions. So, okay. All right. I'm going to move on, Nick, to our next thing, because I want to make sure we have enough time for breakout rooms.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me share my screen real quick here and head back over to this page. All right. So the next thing here on this is the tech requirements. These are pretty straightforward. We're looking for the best quality version of your video when you submit. So if you send us a really tiny, really compressed video, that's not going to look so good. So we want something it's a higher resolution. So you'll see on this page here, we've got some specs laid out, and we know that WeVideo doesn't export as high as these specs. So we just want you to provide us with the best quality version that you can get. Okay. So, and then the other thing was just, posting your video on YouTube, and teachers can hopefully help with all of this, is that most sites have a YouTube channel for your school or your studio at your school. And so loading up your videos into that platform will help facilitate the captioning, but it also is creating a record of you guys' work from the year. So it's that much, it's a really good spot to put stuff. Okay. So, all right. Next thing on this tab here is release forms. So we've talked about releases. Everyone needs to have one. There's two options for how to get the release form. One's a standard PDF like we've always used. You get the PDF, you can print it, and someone can handwrite in their stuff and sign it and all that. The other option is a digital version, like what you do for today. To get in today's event, you had to go to HelloSign and fill out a release form. So we have a SEVA release form there as well. So, and with the release form, it's kind of twofold. So let me just break this down real quick for you. So your talent can just mark the talent box here, put in their name, put in the title, the producers, and all that stuff. And so the top section of this release is for the talent. And then if you are the producer, you'd also then you click the producer button, and this bottom part of the release covers you. And the reason we need a release on you is that we want to interview you and talk to you and learn more about your project and your teacher. And so we just need to make sure that everyone has a release form and that everyone's parents or guardian knows that they're in a video that's being submitted to the contest, and that it could be shown on YouTube. It could be on the educational cable channels. So these releases, I know they're just super important for us to be able to share your work. Okay. So, all right. And then this last tab on this page here, and then we're done with this page, is the upload files area. So you've entered the contest, you've made your video, and you have the backup material, you have your captioning file, you have your releases. So you need to get those to us. So you can either bring them by our office and deliver them, or you can upload them through this Dropbox link. And it's really quite simple. Just a matter of clicking it, and you just add your files right here like this, and they get uploaded to us. Okay. So the important thing though is that we need to make sure we know whose releases these are in the captioning file. So we want to make sure that when you're preparing these files to send to us, that you name your files with whatever you named your show that you entered under into the contest. Okay. So that's really critical, so that we can help keep track of whose stuff is whose.
Hey, Doug, could you hit on what would an ideal entry file name be for you, with everything in it, including the entry number?
Yeah, we're finding that the entry number is not coming through on Wufoo now. On the confirmations as easily as it used to. So right now it's the name of your show that you entered under, like the title of your show, and then your school. Those would be the two like most critical pieces of information we need to have on all these files. So I'll show you guys a quick promo. That sound good, Nick?
Yeah.
The Student Educational Video Awards is the contest to showcase your educational video productions. We've reimagined the 2021 SEVA contest. In addition to public service announcements, school news, documentary, instructional, and creative expression categories, judges will also be able to award special recognition to videos that speak directly to defining 2020. Learn all the details at secctv.org/SEVA. Entries are due February 12th. Share your vision with the SEVAs.
February 12th is the deadline, and 7 p.m. is the cutoff. So, this year we've tried to make it so that everything can be submitted online digitally, but in the past years, people would drop everything off at our office, and people come right up to the last minute. So, you want to make sure you get your stuff in early, so there's no stress over that. So, okay. All right, I'm going to move over now, Nick, to the actual entry form, and we're going to cruise through that real quick. Okay, so here on the same page, you'll see a link here to the entry form. So if we click over here, you get the entry form. So I'm not going to go through everything, but I just wanted to highlight a couple items on this form. So this particular entry form, you have to do it in one pass. You can't save your work and come back to it. So a lot of students, what they'll do is they'll print out the entry form, and you'll maybe pre-write your answers in a Google Doc or something like that. And then when you come into the entry form, you can just copy and paste your content right in there to get through it. Something that's really special for this year is the Defining 2020 awards that we're going to be doing. These are in addition to any SEVA awards or honorable mentions that we might give out. But there's a little description about it here on the entry form, as well as on that other contest page. But we want to learn about how you decide to create your entry and what challenges you may have faced this year producing from home. So, so that's another special area that's unique to this year's contest. Okay. So, and then let me just kind of cruise down here. So you'll see the entry process. Sorry if this is blurry for you guys. I'll try to get down here, and it's really pretty simple. Down here in the music copyright area, you'll select what your music source is. And it's perfectly acceptable not to have any music in your video too. That's just fine. So you can pick which one. If you pick others, another window will come up where you can give us a description. And it's really important to, we want to be able to make sure your video can stay in the contest. But if you don't give us any information about where your music came from, then it's gonna be hard for us to justify it staying in the contest. So the more info you can share with us, the better. Okay. And as you get down here, There's a couple check marks to go through, and then you'll actually submit your entry. If for some reason you missed a field, the form is going to kind of have a little hiccup, and some red areas will come up and say you got to answer this question or fill out this particular piece. There's required pieces in the form. Okay, so until you actually see a screen that says congratulations, good, you're done with step one. Now we need to have your captioning files and releases. If you don't see that, then you need to scroll back up and take a look and see what's happening. Okay, and it's pretty instantaneous. Your teachers will get a confirmation email, usually within a couple minutes. Okay, so, and for all the teachers, you got to remember when that comes in, you're going to need to do a quick reply to us to signify that you received it. And that's in lieu of you having to sign the forms like you've done in the past. So usually every year you've had to print out, sign the entry form as the teacher. But this year for teachers, we're just asking you to just simply send back a quick reply that you recognize the entries come in and everything's in place. So, okay, so your entries are in. They're off to the judges. So the other piece that we're looking for is an interview with each of you. We've got two different ways of trying to get those interviews this year. One of the best options is for you to shoot your own interview. And that's with the help of maybe a parent or a family member. So right now, Nick's in the process of finishing up a quick instructional video on tips for capturing your own video this year. And we also have a list of questions that we want you to answer. So the other option we're looking at is setting up Zoom connection times, where you can schedule a time to Zoom with us and we'll interview you remotely. And so we're working on both those options right now. We should have those ready here in the coming weeks to start rolling out as the entries are coming in. So, all right, next thing up, award night, week celebration. So let me see if I can get back out here to a page that's helpful. So for award night this year, well, award night in general is where we announce all of the winners for the contest. So this year the event will be online on Sunday, April 18th. And but we start celebrating during the week leading up to the event. So we announce the finalists for each category, one category per day. So it's a really cool way to see everyone's work and what was entered into the contest that made to be a finalist. So another piece that we do is red carpet. So if anyone's been to the events we've had at Sac State in the past, we actually have a red carpet area. Everyone gets dressed up. And last year we had an amazing virtual red carpet, and this year we're going to bring you a new red carpet for this year. So if you didn't see last year's, I was going to show you just a really quick clip of the red carpet event we did with the help of Trevor Harding over at Sunrise. So let me pull that clip up real quick. I'm just going to show you.
Are we live? Hello, SEVA students, teachers, and families. Welcome to the SEVA Award Night pre-show celebration, a virtual experience.
Leah, the show's about to start. Yay. Hey, guys, let's watch the show. Okay.
All right, who do we have here? What school are we?
Sunrise.
Yes, everybody say SEVA!
SEVA!
You're going to watch the SEVA Awards in a tree? Are you excited to try to win one of these? Woo! SEVA! Who was that?
That was my excited mother.
Let me hear you say SEVA 2020!
Viva 2020!
SEVA, let's go!
Yay!
SEVA! Okay, here we go. Count down with me. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the SEVA 2020 Awards.
Welcome to the SEVA.
All right, so that's Trevor And as you can see, he has a lot of energy. And I think he got called away today. I don't think he's with us, but we're really looking forward to working with him and all the other teachers to come up with something cool for Red Carpet. So that's a little taste of that. So, so real quickly here. Hey, Paige, are you from Markoffer? Are you on the call here?
Yeah.
All right, Nick, can you spotlight Paige for me? Can you find her? So I have a quick little clip here of Paige from last year that was shared with us. So you were watching the event at home, and so it's okay, but I'm going to play the clip real quick of you hearing about your video. So let me just pull up the right clip here. It's only about 20 seconds. So let me show you guys Paige's reaction when we did the show.
In the documentary category, the judges awarded an honorable mention to Florence Markoffer. Producers Emily Robertson, Madison Knoll, and Paige Vandersteck of Florence Markoffer Elementary School. The producers asked.
All right. So Paige, can you tell us what was that like last year?
That was really exciting because it was my first time entering SEVA. So I'm like, am I gonna win? Like at least one thing, and then I wound up winning. So I was super happy about that for my first time winning SEVA.
That's cool. Do you have any tips for other students entering this year's contest?
Yeah, make sure your video is like really good because you don't want to have like a bad video because you might not like it. Do a video that like inspires you because that might be really fun for you to do. Find like sorry, my dog. So and make sure like I said, like your video is really good because you don't want to like enter a SEVA with a bad video because you probably won't be winning that one.
Okay, cool. Hey, thank you for the clip and for talking
You're
about it.
welcome.
Appreciate it.